everyone, welcome along, welcome to Griffin, Indiana. We're here with Kevin, and he's racing the clock this morning, so had a little bit of a slower start to the day, but then got a call from Larson's to say that if he could be there by 8:30, they had a contract for silage that they'd pay pretty handsomely on, so never wanted to miss a bargain. He's loaded up the trailer here. So the deal was deliver 50,000 litres for about 15, maybe normally that'd be about $15,000 worth, but I think the contract pays 20. We'll check in just a second. But the deal was we had to be here by 8:30, so obviously Larson's have got some people they need to be supplying. They knew we're a regular seller, so let's have a look here. Yeah, so for 50,000 or 49,000 litres of silage, we're getting 21,000, which is getting on for sort of over 400 per 1,000 litres, when we normally see a best price for silage of only 341. So this is a really good deal for us. So we'll satisfy that contract, which will be good. And we were going to come down and sell a few things anyway, because the jobs, there we go, that's that contract complete. So we can go ahead and collect that, and the surplus, of course, which we would have sold anyway, generated us another 8,000. So good deal all around. So while he was up and sort of looking, he noticed that there's a good fertilizing contract on field 24. So if we have a look, field 24 is just over here, one that we've harvested before. So a bit later on, we'll run over and spread some fertilizer for them. But today was always going to be a bit of running around and selling things and generating a little bit of money. He's pretty keen, if he can, to continue getting at least one of those new cattle pastures in place and getting some stock into it. We've got to do a rundown to sell a few of our Angus that are ready to go, so we'll check. I think it's the home pasture might actually be full for the first time, fully stocked. We've had some births in the last month. So, you know, we swing from a focus on harvest, and there are still some harvest contracts going in the district, but there's plenty of other things to be going on with. The two fields that we've got that we mulched, he's currently thinking the soybeans worked really well for us, but just in terms of having a little bit of crop rotation, he's thinking probably to put corn back in those in the new year, so there won't be anything to do with them until we get to April. So the focus is really on what can we do to reconfigure the yard, and also to get these new pastures sorted out. So plenty on the slate. So one of the things he's been starting to do is sort of trying to move the equipment a bit to create some space. The idea is that he's tossing around So we really need some undercover storage for the bigger pieces of equipment. And sheds for implements and things. So he's kind of got his eye on 3 possibilities. Let's sort of go to the yard. So if we sort of just zoom out and have a bit of a look. So what he's thinking in the shed department and configuration. And thank you to those that provided some feedback and comments. So looking at that overhead view here, he's kind of thinking that this idea of, you know, he's extended a little bit of the path and the tracks at the back just to make a couple of loops on the side here that make it easy to service the animals and connect things together. But in terms of the main yard, kind of thinking, well, let's have a kind of an inroad and an outroad. And so if we were to run the road and put another gate in, perhaps take this tree out, that would give us a couple of ways for heavy vehicles to turn. And ultimately, in a shed sense, is kind of thinking we could do something like this shed sitting here. So having a big, for the winter season in particular, a big shed that's drive through and provides us a place to get anything that needs to get seriously out of the weather in place. So that's an option to sort of sit in there. And at 50,000, probably not with a white roof, but at 50,000, that would work pretty well once we get the crops sold. And then thinking that, where are we here? Something along these sort of lines over this side of the road, so between the house and the road, and it'll sit down a little bit if we take the tree out. So that'll give us plenty of bays for parking implements and tractors and the like for easy access. And then the bigger equipment could go, where are we, something along, no, not that one, a bigger version of that, which there are lots of sheds available on the market, he's discovered. Something like this guy could sit up here. We'll take the tree out as well, and we'd have to work it around we can extend the roads around it, but that would potentially slot into here and provide some big equipment protection at this end of the yard. So they're kind of the 3 things he's going for, and all up that combination of sheds is around about 100,000 plus, you know, whatever it costs to do the works. It would mean ultimately that the bale shed here would come out, and we might look later on to a place for that further down the bottom near the animal pens. We'll sort of see how the animal pastures develop. This little shed will come out, and we may or may not keep the little carport up near the house. Ultimately, there's an opportunity. You might have noticed as we drove back, there's a gate. Just get rid of there's a gate down here behind the tree. We could also always bring the driveway for the house up that side and put a carport for the house on this side of the house without impinging on anything. So that's the plan, and we can put a stand of trees across the back here, a couple more oaks and American elms to shield the house from the yard a little bit. So that's the way that's thinking. So that is likely to start to appear over the next little while. And one of the things we'll take advantage of is the sale prices as they emerge. For today, we don't want to sell all the bales. The straw price is going up. So it's at $80 and top price we expect to be $90 in January. So we'll sell some of them because we actually need the trailer to pick up a couple of things down at the store. A couple of bits of equipment to help us out potentially. So we'll do that. I'll see you down at Larson's. Just back in here. And they should be able to pick them straight off the back of the trailer if we get in the slot there. So the plan here is a pretty simple one. Using the new bits of equipment just to make it a bit easier to move and clear things, and we'll do it progressively over the next few months. So you know, there's plenty of time. We're not in an earth-shattering rush to get this all done in one go, and by doing it a little methodically, we can just see how it all comes together. So the plan here is, and there was a good suggestion in the chat which I relayed on to Kevin, to use the marker sprays to identify trees that need to come out. Because we're not planting this field with corn until next April, we can just pull the trees that we cut using the winch out into the fields, and that way we get them out of the way. We can load them or deal with them at our leisure. We can even burn them off to some extent if need be. But for now, it's just an opportunity to catch you on there. And a little bit far away, but that's okay. Just pull them straight out is the idea. He doesn't want to go because he's caught on that tree over there. What's this one doing? Just got to get him dislodged from the trees there with any luck. That should do it. And then we just pull them straight out is the idea. And off we go. So pretty simple, just mildly tedious while we just get out and hook everything up. But once we get them out of the way, we can start to see the space we're working with a little bit more clearly, which helps, and we can deal with the stumps as we go. Now, where was that one? We're going to drive right over the top of it. Go down. There we go. That's what we want. And one stump out of the way. That's it, just gotta find the spot. And there we go. Grab another one. Just pull them back. Hopefully you won't get caught on that stump there or around the back of that tree. just to be difficult. There's an example of a tree that we can remove, I think. Get rid of that one. Flip him on. Pull him out. So now we can see where we're sort of heading in. This one will need to go. So, and that's the line that we want to be taking. So if we take our sort of look through on our compass bearing, we want to be pretty much heading in on a southerly course. So everything that's straight south, that guy can go. That one. I'll leave that one there. This one to our left. And where are we at? We probably want this guy here. Working back on this side of the path. So that just gives us a few to get out of the way. So we might leave Kevin to deal with those and check back in with him when he's got a little bit of a cleared area to work with. We're just working our way back up the hill here. We've got most of the stumps that we can see. You can see we've got a little bit of a clearing happening. It's a little bit steeper than he anticipated, so we'll need to do a little bit of leveling of the ground, I think, just to be able to get our, there's a stump right there, get our pens in, and for that we're going to need more money, I think. That one's done, and there's another one just off to our side. Oh, there's two there. So what he's thinking is the order of march here is to where's that? Why is that not picking that up? I've got the accelerator and the brake. Reverse there. Maybe not eating that. There it is. Good, I got that one, and one more over there. Yeah, so what he's thinking is potentially another load of silage might be the way to go. Just can't quite find the sweet spot on that stump there. There it is. Got it. So that might just be everything we need to do in that spot. So if we just have a look in our construction view, it's a bit easier to see the effect we have. So we've got a bit of a run in there. And if we take our animal pen, it's gonna, you can just see the end of the fence here. Now we want the fence down this sort of way so we can take advantage of that flatter ground just about there, and then just have a little bit of an incline up here to the road, and then we'll put the other one turned around the other side on this side. But we need a few more dollars to make all that happen. So if we go and do a load of silage and then finish off that contract, or finish off, do the fertilizing contract, that'll give us plenty of money to get those things sorted. So we'll just sell 45,000 on this occasion. While he was driving down, Kevin called one of the guys at the engineering company he used to put the silo in, and just to see if they'll pop. Oops, getting a bit touchy on that. Here we go. If they could pop over and just cut that area down to level and sort of form up an incline for the road. So they've agreed to do that. So with any luck, that'll happen in the next little while we're out dealing with fertilizing contract. But there's 16,000, just tops up that bank account, gives us enough for the 2 pastures and to flick a little something the way of the engineering guys when they pop over. So all being well, we'll go and get this contract sorted. It's right over beside the engineering company's yard, so keeps it pretty easy. With any luck, that should be plenty of fertilizer to deal with the field that we've got to do. We might just top it up. Makes no sense to roll down there and find what we've run out. Let's get down to field 24. There's the engineering shop just there on the left. Kevin's been talking to them about helping with the sheds potentially. So I'm sure they'll manage to do a deal. But in the meantime, you might notice one of the things in that little inset mini map there, the 1.9 patch and the corresponding update to precision farming appears to have given you some information on a field that you don't own about fertilizer levels. So whilst you don't get the precision farming data per se, you do get some visibility of you adding the second level of fertilizer. So That's kind of an interesting, unexplained feature or addition or correction. It certainly didn't work like that before, and it is useful to see. So this won't take very long. Whip around this field and get back and see how the guys are going with our new pastures. Not much to go now. We're at just on 95%, so just a couple of spots to sort out up here. And we can head back up and find out how our new area is progressing. We will do that patch that we've not done on the left hand side, even though the farmer says he's happy with our coverage here. Our fertilizer, pop it in the workshop actually, just to keep it out of the way as we try and limit the amount of movement of some of this gear we have to relocate for the minute. Let's jump over and see what they've done. So let's go and see what they've come up with. Well, I can see we've got another pen in here. It seems to fit in quite nicely. I've got Deere in there at the minute, and one on the other side. Bit of a steepish sort of turn in, but good access to be able to drop water and vehicles. And they've fitted another pen on this side pretty well, so comes up to the edge of our field. I reckon that's going to be a great spot. So let's head down to Larson's and pick up a couple of cows. We can finish that contract that we were working on. That's all complete. So let's go down to Larson's and just pick up some stock for this pen. So the cows that we need to sell are these ones right here at 3,125, 27 months old. They've just given birth. We could keep them for another cycle, but this pasture is full. And I think it's a better proposition to sell them at this point. So we'll take 6 down to market. So they're in the pasture at the back. Path there, we might get the guys to look at that one. That's a pretty bumpy old ride out of there. I'll see you down at Larson's. So we're just arriving at Larson's now. And the plan here is to sell these 6 head, which we can do for 18,000. So in effect, we turn 6 2-year-olds into a truckload of 30 calves and still walk away with $9,000 in our pocket. So that's the trick. And so the idea with these new pens is we'll stock those over the next couple of months as we have the cash. These 30 will do for today, and we'll split them between the two pens, put some feed in, and that'll be golden. So Kevin's thinking here is these new fields will be known as Twilight 2 and 3. And one day, if we end up buying the field just in over there, it's completely forested. We can potentially loop this access road we've built up back in, come in at the low point near our red barn there. So we'll just have to see how that goes. We'll see how practical. There's another tree we need to pull out. We'll just see how this all works for us and fix it up as we go. The access point in here is a bit steep, but you didn't want to, the boys didn't want to damage the pasture, so that works all right. We can get round the corner. A little bit of a rock on the entrance. Now, which ends? What are we doing here? Pretty sure that's the point. So we will want 15 out of there. And they look pretty good on that side. And then we come down this one. We've got a bit of a drop. They didn't sort of finish there, so we might sort out all of them if we can. Let's have a look here. So, landscaping, let's make up. That's the high point we want right there, about that size. And we want from over there to be just a little bit smoother. There we go. And now when we drive forward, we should be able to unload the truck with any luck. Lighten the trigger. There we go. And we've got some on that side. So now all that remains is to put some water and hay in the baskets, which Kevin can do over the next hour or so. But that's been a successful little exercise. We did leave one tree that we marked, and that looks like that one can stay. So I think in terms of our day today, that's been a good one. Thanks very much for watching, everyone. See you next time.